The next Common Core standard we will be working on is 6.ns.1, division of fractions. The biggest problem that I'm noticing when we do this is most of the problems are story problems, and students are not looking to see what we're dividing. They're just putting the numbers in order that they come in the story problem and dividing, which causes a problem. For example, if I have the story problem of how many 1/4 cup servings are in 7 cups of pecans. Pecans are a nut. We need to know, what is it asking? We know we have 7 cups of pecans, but they want to know how many 1/4 cup servings you can get out of it, or how many groups of 1/4 are in 7 cups. So that leads us to say that we need to divide 7 into 1/4 cup servings. We know that we need to convert the whole number into a fraction by placing a 1 under it. My students will remember that I tell them to stay, change, flip. Stay, change, flip tells us that we need to change what the problem looks like. The first fraction, the 7/1, is our stay. It stays the same. The change comes in for change of the division sign to a multiplication sign. And the last thing is our flip. Our flip is when we flip 1/4 into 4/1. That is called the reciprocal. The flip equals a reciprocal. A reciprocal is when you flip a fraction over. So the numerator becomes the denominator, and the denominator becomes the numerator. So we just flipped it over and created the reciprocal. When you multiply fractions, we multiply fractions by going straight across. To multiply this fraction, we would do 7 times 4 equals 28, and 1 times 1 equals 1. So that would lead us to this as our answer. There are 28 1/4 cup servings in 7 cups of pecans. The next problem that I want to work on will inform us of how many chocolate chip cookies or chocolate chips we are needed at a bakery. If we have a story problem that says a bakery used 1/5 of a bag of chocolate chips, and we all know how I love chocolate, so that will work out. A bakery used 1/5 of a bag of chocolate chips to make 3 batches of cookies. How much of the bag did they use for each batch? Well, I guess we have to try to figure out what they have and what they're dividing. Well, if they used 1/5 of the bag to make 3 batches of cookies, we would start off with that 1/5 of a bag. And we're going to divide it into 3. because we made 3 batches of cookies. So we know that we had 1/5 of a bag of chocolate chips. We also know that we made 3 batches of cookies. So we need to determine how much of the bag did they use for each batch. Again, we will flip this. The first fraction will stay the same, which is 1/5 or 1/5. The change would come where we change that division sign to a multiplication. And the flip, remember, that is called a reciprocal. To take a reciprocal of that fraction, we need to turn the denominator into the numerator and the numerator into the denominator. So currently we have just 3, but we know to make a whole number into a fraction, you place it over 1. So now we need to take the reciprocal of it. To take the reciprocal of 3 over 1, we will flip it and make the denominator the numerator and the numerator into the denominator. Again, we know to multiply fractions straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 3 is 15. So we know that we used 1/15 of the bag each time we made a batch of cookies.